All right, so for the last speakers tonight, we've got Dr. Glenn Fedor and Dr. Ivan Scrooby from the medical community. If you guys can come up on the stage here with me.
I brought my surgical glove.
All righty.
I think you might have to take it off.
Can't hear me? Can't hear me? Nope.
You got to be right on the mic.
You got to be right on that mic there. So I don't know if you guys want to hold it or put it between you guys. I'll try to bounce back and forth for the questions here for you guys. So thank you guys for coming up here with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and the role that you play in the medical community? And I guess we'll you touch the mic there, Glenn, so you got to start.
Okay, I'll start. Can everyone hear me? Okay, excellent. So I'm a longtime family doctor in Williams Lake. Been here actually this coming Monday will be my 39th year I arrived in Williams Lake. So I'm a family doctor, and also I serve an administrative role in Ontario Health as a medical director. So actually when this COVID thing all hit mid-March, the committee work all blossomed for me, and as part of the Emergency Operation Command and the Caribou Incident Command. So for a while there, it was probably 3 hours of meetings every day trying to get up to date on all the things. And then Dr. Scrooby, I'll tell you what he does, and he'll tell you about all the work he did to get prepared for this whole pandemic.
I'm Ivan Scrooby, and I'm a family physician, a GP anesthetist, and addiction physician. I came on the train in February 2002. I was on the other side of the lake, and I really missed the train, Anyway, it was minus 20, and I had a tan from South Africa, so it's obviously long gone now. Your other question was my involvement, or remind me again?
Yeah, tell us about the role that you play in the medical community.
I have a small family practice. I'm some of the head of the Department of Anesthesia at the moment. Recently appointed. I play a smaller role in addiction practice recently because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I was involved in developing the isolation unit and part of the anesthetic service for COVID-19.
All right. I'll just actually skip down here a little bit so you can keep the mic in your hand. So can you explain to us how the medical community is currently set up to test and treat COVID-19 patients?
So there's a tent just outside the hospital, which we use primarily for the testing with a nasopharyngeal swab for COVID-19 patients or patients that we believe requires testing. In the hospital, we prepared a isolation space to care for people that are awaiting a result that require hospital admission, but also created a safe space for other patients that require care that are obviously not affected by COVID-19. So my involvement was developing of that space, and the medical community is fairly well prepared now. It's been a challenging time for us to understand what we needed to do and prepare for a disease that we'd never seen before. But I think we fairly beefed up with our emergency care, obviously, but also with PPE and really required equipment to prepare for the pandemic.
Okay, so would you say that now, with those setups, would you say that we're a little better set up should there be a second wave of COVID-19?
I think so, but I don't think it was because we didn't have the appropriate equipment before. It's because our understanding is better now compared to 3 months ago when we were to a large extent, trying to understand what we were dealing with. But yes, we are better prepared for sure.
Okay. Well, now we'll switch over to Glenn here now. So, Dr. Fedor, can you tell us some different ways that physicians are currently providing care for their patients?
Good question. So, one thing that I want people to know that really physician offices really never closed down during the pandemic. They were always open, but we were told by the college that we had to modify our practices. The message was we needed to try and keep people at home. We needed to try and reduce the contact and not have crowded offices. So pretty well all the physicians switched to different models. There are some people that adopted Zoom. There was DoxyMe was another virtual platform you could do. But I found a lot of patients actually just preferred a phone call. It was easier. You didn't have to worry about trying to set up the technology. Some people didn't have very good broadband and internet connections. So it was usually a blend, but we still did injections in our office. If there were people that really critically needed to be seen, we did see them. Obviously, people that had severe respiratory problems went more to the testing tent and the hospital. But it's starting to become a bit more business as usual. But we've got a safety plan. All the physician offices have safety plans, cleaning techniques, spraying the rooms down, cleaning every room after every patient visit. So what as Bonnie Henry said, we need to sort of keep the contact at about 60%. So I think right now, probably about 40% of our office visits are in person, and the rest are either by telephone or virtual methods.
So with all that adaptation, is there really anything that you can't do right now through those different means?
We're adapting in different ways. Through video conferencing, you could see certain things. I've had actually people text me pictures or email me videos of different things. But obviously, it's pretty hard to lay the hands on virtually if they're not in the room. So there are some people that do need to be physically examined. So, but with proper precautions and masking and gloves and everything, and using the right gear, it's totally safe.
Okay, so what would you say is the proper protocol for employers to know about things like sick leave, sick notes, length of time that employees can return back to work, that kind of thing?
I think early in the pandemic, if you remember, Bonnie Henry and I think Adrian Dick came on the news and said, encourage employers, don't ask for sick notes. We don't want people going to the doctor's offices trying to get sick notes. So sick notes were discouraged. And, the message is out there. If you are symptomatic, you're supposed to say at least 10 days away, isolate yourself for 10 days. If you get exposed, the number I think is 14 days. We don't know at the very beginning how long this virus lasts in everyone. There's all kinds of debates in there. So some new strains maybe even last longer. But at this point, I think if anything, I've been requested to get more notes for modified duties. There are some people that were asking, can I work from home? Maybe I don't need to go into work. It's safer for me to be at home. So if anything, a little bit of modified duties. But I think overall, I'm not sure what Ivan's experience was, but I don't believe I've had one request from an employer for a sick note. Most employers around this town have been very understanding and realizing if you have a sick employee, you want them to stay home. You don't want them to wander around town trying to find a note and bring a note into work. So I don't know, Ivan, what was your experience? Yeah.
All right. So again, a question for both of you. So talking about the labor force within the medical community, has that been impacted at all by COVID-19?
Not really. I think, in any labor force in medicine, recruitment is an ongoing initiative. We've been recruiting for years. There have been one of our obstetricians just left a month ago. We've got a new GPA and a GP anesthetist that just came a couple of months ago. We have another new psychiatrist coming. We've had a couple of our GPAs are leaving to do further training. There's going to be ongoing flux, but I think right now, overall, we probably are still short doctors in this town. I think we've been really trying to recruit. We definitely need some more family doctors. But, through the division and the primary care network initiative, we're looking at also some nurse practitioners in the rural areas. And so I think right now, I can't say that COVID-19 has really impacted the medical community and staffing. I think everyone has been amazingly worked together as a team. I don't think I can recall anyone sort of saying, I don't want to go to the hospital, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to do this because of COVID. Everyone's pitched in together.
So I don't think COVID-19 influenced us in a negative way, but I think it's important to know that there are some very exciting new projects coming to our hospital. With the addition of a new psychiatrist, there's a discussion regarding chronic pain service. A full service chronic pain clinic requires a lot of multidisciplinary team members, and there's an effort to try and put that together. One of the GP anesthetists that's leading our community is going for a 1-year fellowship to Montreal. We won't hold it against him that he's going to the COVID capital of the country, but with him coming back after 1 year of that training, that would potentially allow us to have interventional pain treatment modalities available in our community, bearing in mind that there is only 1 or 2 of those physicians in Prince George and similarly in Kamloops. It would make Williams Lake a very unique community to be able to have a service like that available. We're building an expansion of the surgical program, and with that there is the additional requirement for anesthesia coverage. As we draw people into the discipline, they often share individual interests, so there's an opportunity to expand high care units. So I think it's important for the community to know that there's a lot of effort going on in the background trying to expand services, and there is a huge opportunity to progress. This was happening in the background before COVID happened. It really delayed us, but we are back at it again, and I think I'm very excited about what we will have available in this community, within a year to 2 years from now. Particularly if you add that to the expansion of the hospital facility and the space, we will have a fantastic service, structurally and with staff within the next 3 to 5 years.
That's excellent. Just make sure that your friend quarantines for 2 weeks when he comes back from Montreal. So Dr. Fedor, can you tell us about the PPE guidelines that we should be following in our community?
So right now, as you can go out there, you see people are doing all kinds of various things. But, I would tell you that Bonnie Henry, who's the new hero of BC and everyone's talking about, follow her advice, follow Teresa Tam, the federal medical health officer, and really, going out there, there's all kinds of masks out there and all that. But remember, masks do not protect you. The mask protects you from other people from you. So, but really, it comes down to really some very simple thing. Wash your hands. Don't go out in public, wear gloves. Gloves do not protect you. Gloves will spread around. Wash your hands with alcohol. Or, soap works just as well. Soap and water. Just, do the 20-second wash your hands. But also, masks. Really, I see people wearing N95 masks. If you're in a hospital, if you're a GP anesthetist, if you're in the OR, if you're doing nebulized treatment, yes, an N95, but no one in the public needs to wear an N95 mask out there in public. Really, masks are important to wear if you can't distance yourself. There are some people with respiratory problems that will struggle with masks. If you're going out for a jog by yourself, you don't need to wear a mask. COVID-19 is an air droplet disease. If you distance yourself, the droplets fall down. Yes, they'll be on surfaces, but once again, wash your hands, don't touch your face. What I worry about is if everyone starts wearing masks, are everyone going to be bringing their hands up to their face, adjusting their masks all the time and forgetting to wash your hands? But I think right now, if you are going to be traveling, as you know, the guidelines now say if you're taking transit, if you're taking a plane, if you're taking a train, and you're being close together, you need to wear a mask. And I know we're all supposed to be kind now to this thing, you know, and I think, you know, just be understanding that, you know, there are some people that are going to wear masks and they just feel better wearing a mask, and there's, in fact, there's so many neat designs of masks right now, it's almost a fashion statement, the kind of mask you wear out in public. So I would encourage right now to people if you have to go out public, you know, wear a mask, that's fine, but save the gloves and the N95 mask for the healthcare workers.
All right, thank you. So speaking about mental health, what are some of the biggest changes in patient needs due to COVID-19? Things like routine procedures, mental health. Are there ways our community can deal with mental health post-COVID?
You know, we were fortunate and unfortunate in a way that the wildfires that we had to go through gave us a whole bunch of lessons, and there was a whole bunch of initiatives that came about to try and deal with mental health. And we know this is going to be a little bit like the wildfire, where there are people that are going to struggle with mental health. We just saw the addiction sort of statistic today, the highest number of deaths for opioid overdose in the last month. It was the highest ever. I think we're going to see more substance use issues. We're going to see more alcohol. We're going to see more domestic violence. And I think the resources are coming. I see there's more planning. There's been some groups that have put together, developed resources for families and kids. Dr. Berkey and a group of people that are involved with mental health care have put together resources. I think the other, you know, obviously big change is the delay in procedures and surgeries. You know, there was, 30,000 surgeries put on hold. We've got some catching up to do. Obviously, people have to have their chronic diseases management. I believe there are probably a number of people that didn't go for testing, didn't go in person to their doctor, weren't managing their illnesses, and we need to catch up on that a bit. But once again, I think, you know, one of the biggest things I think when I in the very term, the word socially isolate, I think that's a bad term, you know, or socially distance. I think we need to physically distance, but I don't think we need to socially distance. I think we need to find different ways to socialize. You know, phone your friend up, phone your family, you know, keep in contact. You know, I think, you know, this message of social isolation is terrible, you know, and that's actually what's going to cause a lot of problems in the future. So we have to find this new normal. And my mantra is, COVID's not going to control me, I'm going to control COVID. And that's what we've got to do. We just got to find a way to move on and find unique ways to look after yourself. And I know, you know, with some of the isolation that people have done, they have actually found innovative ways. You know, more people are baking, some people are spending more time with their families, some people are getting different forms of exercise. You know, unfortunately, our restaurant industry has been kind of hurt a bit, but then, you know, people are maybe being, you know, better at cooking and learning how to cook at home and doing different things. So I think, I always say, try and find the positive in the real negative things.
The COVID-15, right? You eat a little bit extra, gain a little weight. All right. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Any other final remarks?
I think we have to accept that there may be a new norm that we will have to get used to, doing things a different way. I think that's one aspect that's important. But the other important thing, I think, is that we should remember that obviously patients that have respiratory illnesses should seek medical attention, but also people with other conditions should seek medical attention. There was a time that we were trying to push away people and you know, prevent them from, or suggest that they don't go to the hospital. And the unintended consequence is delayed disease, other conditions that people present with, and we are probably going to have to deal with a lot of that going forward. So the message should be that if you have, you know, a respiratory illness or you have a flu-like symptom, staying home if you're well enough and not going out is fine. However, if you have other symptoms, please seek medical attention, because the unintended consequence is us having to deal with people with delayed disease, many other conditions that are neglected because of COVID-19. So that, I think, is an important message for people to remember, that we still need to deal with those other important aspects of medical care and don't neglect that.
The only last comment I want to just make is, is a team. You know, medical care is teamwork, and I just want to acknowledge all the other team members, not just the physicians. You know, the healthcare workers, the laundry staff, the housekeeping staff. You know, everyone pitched in. You know, when we put together our crew respiratory unit, or some people call it the COVID unit, and everyone banded together. It was just amazing. The maintenance people, the people that work day and night, you know, family members that came in. It was just amazing teamwork. And so I think, you know, all I could say is the reason I'm here 39 years in Williams Lake is because of how we've worked together to try and fight this COVID pandemic. I'm really proud of our town, and I think, you know, hopefully spread the word that this is the place to move to. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other, would you say there's anything else that you guys need from the community to further your efforts? Is there anything else that we can do?
I don't know, maybe have events like this, spread the word, you know, try and find, like Ivan says, find that new normal. You know, try and find a way that we can get out and, you know, get some fresh air, maybe a little rain, and hopefully a little sunshine, and you know, really just work together. Just, you know, make you know, continue to make Williams Lake a proud city.
Awesome. Okay, well,
We have,
does it,
we have a question.
oh,
we
we've
got a
got a question. Oh, one brave soul, Mary.
Not a question, but they walked by with a megaphone, and I was like, yes. What I do want to say is thank you so much to the leadership of these organizations and institutions that makes Williams Lake a great place to live. We are so blessed. Thank you to the organizers. It's been a great visit, and you guys do great work. And together we're an amazing community that just builds on more resilience. So keep going forward. Good job, guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mary. So that's a wrap, everybody. On behalf of the City of Williams Lake, I would like to thank you for coming out tonight and watching us live. Thank you to the City of Williams Lake for providing the venue, the Tourism Discovery Center, and thanks to the organizers of this event. A special thanks to Rob and Bev from caribouaradio.com for providing us with the sound system, as well as live streaming this event on their Facebook page. If you like this type of